What do we carry inside ourselves that apparently destroy everything good we have? Is there something wrong with us, or is just the way things are? In the episode 2, Out of Touch, we see the characters in brand new circumstances but making the same old mistakes. Note that Euphoria didn't deliver to us a second season that is a side effect of the previous one. Now it's a whole new field open for new things to arrive, as we discussed it in the past video, the one I talk about how important it was to begin in the New Year's Eve. But even though there's an atmosphere of everything is good, it feels almost like doesn't matter what we do, things are always going to go wrong. The first character to appear is Nate, and we are kind of forced to trip with him because we have no choice but to see what's going on inside his brain. We see dreams, traumas, intimate desires. There is Cassie, there is Jules, there's Maddie, there's his father's tapes, including a wish for being a dad and to form a healthy family with Cassie. So, want it or not, we kind of create some empathy for Nate since we are in his head and therefore we can see his humanity. But let's be honest here. We're talking about the bad guy, so we can't have mercy on him. But the episode starts as a redemption. Nate is not revengeful or angry. Note that he didn't even think about fast throughout the entire episode. I know it's too soon to tell, but these scenes that literally opens the episode show us a Nate being reborn. Okay, so the name Euphoria pops up and then our protagonists are finally back together. But it lasts like 1 minute. Elliot shows up to break the harmony between those two, but it's not like it's his fault because Rue deliberately brought him into this. Jules gets clearly uncomfortable and goes to the bathroom crying. Another explicit love triangle is shown soon after that, and it's funny how Jules, who is someone being betrayed, leads the scene to the traitor itself, Cassie. She is also a girl that has some issues like everybody. Sadly, she's in love with Nate, but we can ask ourselves, is she really in love with him, or as Maddie would say, is she just a girl who loves to be loved? To show us how they're entwined, the next scene shows us Maddie's dilemmas. Apparently, she decides to move on with her life and start doing grown-up things like getting a job, but she doesn't leave her old, ambitious, and dreamy self behind. It seems like she's moving on and getting independent, but at the end of the episode, we see that all she wants is to get back with Nate, even though she herself admits it's a toxic relationship. Speaking of toxic relationships, let's talk about a healthy one. I mean, it looks healthy even to Kat, but something's wrong, she feels it even though she doesn't know why. And we talked about that in the last video about how the flashlights in the party would somehow tell the character's fate in this season, and we see that happening. So, if Ethan is a nice guy, why is their relationship sucking? Could it be because she wants different things in guys and Ethan can provide that for her? Could it be that he's too good for her, meaning she does not believe she deserves healthy love? But let's reflect for a bit. What is healthy love? The drama goes on, and then we are introduced to a contemporary topic, which is self-love, and how social media overwhelms us with that. Nowadays, we have to love ourselves and we have to know who we are, like, right away. If you don't love yourself or don't know who you are, there's definitely something wrong with you. But you can easily solve it by buying some merch, some product, or some self-care service. It implies that what we need on this journey of self-acceptance is actually something that can be bought. So we buy clothes that feel like us and objects that say who we are. It's not within us, but outside us. Therefore, it's a demand. And for me, this is one of the most necessary and cool representations of this matter on a TV show ever. But back to Kat. Do you think that self-love would solve Kat's relationship? And there was a similar situation involving Rue and Elliot when Rue said she could only be herself when she's on drugs. Elliot said he didn't think that was true, maybe implying that he sees who she truly is and likes her for that. And then we have Lexie. Being honest, she's sometimes so invisible we forget she's on the show, but I also don't agree with that. Lexie is someone that doesn't fit the train, be the main character of your life, that is really popular on social media, mainly on Instagram and YouTube. She's like many of us, a passive, smart, and shy girl who doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Lexie is literally embodying us when we see Euphoria. Just think about it. But in this episode, like the rest of the characters, she has an opportunity to change her previous state. She gets the call to action. And thankfully, she grabs that opportunity and is now actively doing something she wants to do. But when it comes to the crunch, she backs off, a voyeur again. We feel the fear with her in that scene, and we also can do nothing about it. Would Nate's dad pull the gun? And why Lexie doesn't say anything? It's so annoying. This only happens because, unfortunately, she's still stuck in her past self. She's still making the same old mistakes. Note how everybody's doing the same thing in this episode. Cassie, Maddie, Brew, Kat, Lexie. The only one who actually seems to found a way out of the cycle of self-destruction and self-sabotaging is Nate. Surprise, surprise! But remember, this didn't come without a cost because he was beaten up almost to death. So he went into a situation of redemption and apparently he chose to change. So out of that can propose to us a good self-reflection on how we manage things. It leaves some questions like, what are the things that keep holding us back, that keep stopping us to get what we want? And what do we really want? What are we doing to get those things? So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's analysis and reflections as much as I did, because it was a very good episode, so well made. Have a sunny day and see you next week.